Hello and welcome to this week's video for MRP Foods. This is video number 2. Video number 2 is for a lemon drizzle layer cake. The reason I've picked that is because we are doing lockdown and I haven't been shopping, so I've basically made it out of what I've got in the cupboard. I would have really preferred to use fresh lemons. I used a lemon extract, but it is what it is. I've made something out of what I've got in the house. On this week's recipe there is actually 3 parts to the recipe card. The first one is for the cake, the second is for the buttercream filling, and the third is for the drizzle. There are some optional parts with it. As you'll see, I didn't use any lemon zest because I didn't have any. It would have been better with it, but I didn't. I went with what I had. And there's edible glitter. You don't have to use it. I just used it because I had some in the cupboard. Before we get too far in, make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button. If there's anything you want to see made on a future episode, then feel free to leave that in the comments. Right then, let's get on with the bake. So my method of actually making the cake batter is to start off with your butter and sugar, mix them, and then whack all the rest of your ingredients in at once and mix them, and then just keep going until you end up with a nice smooth mix like that. That's all that matters, that you end up with a nice smooth mix like that. To butter your trays, I've got 2 different sizes. I've just got some old bits of greaseproof, some little bits that weren't doing anything, just buttered them up, and then I've used the old fold method. Sort of stuck my my folded greaseproof paper into the middle and then cut accordingly, and it fit the bottom of the bowl or the pan or the tray, whatever you want to call it. I've then just tipped my mix in, done that into both, and then put it in the oven at the right temperature. Took the greaseproof off the bottom when it was cooked and cooled it. Now your cooker will vary from person to person, hence the different times, but just to make sure it's test it to make sure it's cooked, just stick a skewer in, and if it comes out clean, it's fine. Next up, make the buttercream, all the ingredients in a bowl, and just beat it. Be a bit sparing with the liquid because you don't want to make it too liquid. You're better off to add a little and often. And then what I've done, the bigger cake of the 2 rose really well in the middle, so I've just cut the top off it, and then I cut another slice here. So I've cut it twice just so that there's a nice flat base on the bottom, and I didn't waste those, I actually ate them. The cake was bloody nice. Next up is just making sure it's properly cooled. You need it to be cool if you're putting buttercream on. So I gave these half an hour, 40 minutes. And then what I've done with the bottom layer only is I've poked a few holes in it with a fork. And then I put some lemon juice, you can use fresh or at the bottle, in a shot glass. And then I just gently brushed on a really thin layer. If you're going to talk millimeters or milliliters, I probably only used 2 mil on this. 1 mil, 2 mil. I didn't use much, just a few dabs, just to keep it moist. And then I put the buttercream on. And with the buttercream, you can use a palette knife, you can use a spatula, use whatever you've got handy. And all I've done is I've gone over the top of it and made it like an even, smooth layer. And I haven't put too much hanging over the edges because no one likes it when the edges hang out. So there you go, that's done. Just put the top back on. And then next up is the drizzle. To make the drizzle, again, put the icing sugar in the bowl, and then I mixed some lemon juice and some water together to make like my own sort of liquid mix rather than just using water. And I put it in a couple of teaspoons, 3 teaspoons at a time to start with. And then as I was mixing it until you get the right consistency, you want it to be quite loose. So I just mixed it and added water as I went. And the reason mine isn't crystal clear or mine isn't like a really brilliant white colour is because I used lemon juice in it and it's changed the colour. But not to worry, because when it sets, it does set crystal clear. You couldn't actually tell there's anything on it. But again, what I've done, once I've got the mix to the right consistency, and you do want it to be pretty runny, but you also want it to be enough to taste. You don't want it to be like water. So as long as you get it and it drops back down off the spoon, a bit like a cream almost, a cream sort of consistency, then it's fine. And what I did as well was I actually used a fork and I poked a few holes in the top. Again, I didn't poke all the way through. I didn't poke it to do damage. I just wanted to release a little bit of the top to let some of the drizzle actually soak into the cake, because the cake itself isn't that sweet, so I just wanted some of that flavouring to go through. As you can see, that's nicely mixed. There's no lumps in it, there's no grain, so it's perfect for the drizzle. And you see I've poked the top, and just put some of that drizzle over the top. It doesn't really matter if you put it on gently like with a spatula or just tip it on. And one suggestion is to make sure you've got it on a grill tray, otherwise you end up with two things to clean instead of one. And I actually ended up moving this onto a grill tray. Had some edible glitter in the cupboard, so I stuck some of that in as well, and you can see it there in the air. And yeah, that's the cake done. It's very nice. As you can see, it looks quite edible, and then when it's cut, it was really light and really moist. Right, as you will have seen by now, that was the lemon drizzle layer cake with a buttercream filling. It was actually very bloody nice, to be fair. Probably the best cake I've ever made. I'll do something different next week. Hopefully, maybe donuts, maybe something beef related. I don't know. They're the two things that are hitting me at the minute. But anyway, thanks for watching.